Its own soul. From the Himalayas to the Indian Ocean, India is a living flow in itself, which is created by its thoughts, ideas, and values. Viksit Bharat. In India's vision to become a global hub of skills, knowledge, research, and innovation, Indian knowledge system is an important pillar. As educators, it's our responsibility to provide our students with an opportunity to reconnect with the past, build holistic scientific temper, and utilize it for carrying multidisciplinary research and innovation to build our future. IMA's Vice Chancellor Council held its conclave last year on the theme Transformational Leadership for a Viksit Bharat, Transforming India into the Global Hub of Knowledge and Education. One of the highlighting sub-themes last year was NEP integrating Indian knowledge system into our curriculum. Taking the discussion forward, on ITS, we present to you this conclave on Manthan, integrating Indian knowledge system in contemporary higher education. We are privileged to have a most distinguished lineup of speakers, dignitaries, and a very eminent audience with us for the conclave. Let us churn our ideas together and find the nectar of knowledge. Before we begin our deliberations, let us commence this auspicious beginning with lighting of the lamp and take blessings of Lord Ganapati. I'll invite all the dignitaries to please join for the lighting of the lamp. And I request our colleague Manasa to be with us.
Vishwani deva savitarturita viparasuva yadbhatram tantra asuva hiranyagarbhas sabhavatpatagre bhuvasya jata patireka asid sadadharam divim dhyamudemam kasmai devaya abhichavidema ya atmada baladayasya vishwapupasate prasicham yasya devah यस्य छायामृतं यस्य मृत्युः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम यः प्राणतो निमिषतो महित्वैकनिद्रा च जगतो बभूव य ईशे अस्य द्विपदश्चतुष्पदः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम अग्नेनय सुपथाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् योद्धस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नम उक्तिं विधेम ओम शांति 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 एवरीबॉडी सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 आनो भद्रा कृतो यन्तु विश्वतः लेट्स all the thoughts come to us from every side of us. Thank you.
To welcome our dignitaries on the dais, now we are invite. I request Dr. Koti Reddy sir, Vice Chancellor, ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education, to welcome Professor Sitaraman and present a bouquet of flowers to him. It's an honor for us to welcome on stage our guest of honor, Professor M.K. Sridhar, Padma Shri awardee, member Board of Governance, Chanakya University, and President, Center for Economic and Social Studies. I request Dr. Uduvinay, Pro Vice Chancellor, ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education, Bangalore, to welcome Professor Sridhar with a bunch of flowers. It's our pleasure to welcome on stage Dr. Rohit Singh, Director IMA, and I request Dr. Vinay Joshi, Dean Academics, ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education Bangalore, and Conclave host convener to present a bouquet of flowers to Dr. Rohit Singh. Professor Rakesh Mohan Joshi, Vice Chancellor, IIFT New Delhi, and the co-chair of IMA's Vice Chancellor Council will shortly be joining us. With this, I request Dr. Rohit Singh to present his welcome address.
Thank you, Soumya. It's a pleasure and privilege to stand here and welcome all the delegates. Most respected and revered Shira sir, Chairman AICT, DC Dharam sir, ICFAI Vice Chancellor Koti Reddy sir, and Pro-Vice Chancellor ICFAI, Professor Muthu Vinay, Executor and Architect of this Vice Chancellor Conclave at ICFAI Higher Education Bangalore, Dr. Vinay Joshi, Dean Academics, all respected faculty members who are working since yesterday to make this event as perfect as possible, and dear students. We selected this theme with an intention because we are at Bangalore, and I'm sure you all must be aware about it. CES is working since last many years, and people say Kotler is the father of marketing and all those aspects. But here we have a person who has created and curated the finer details of Indian knowledge system, where he designed a curriculum in the form of Hartley management that needs to be taught way back starting 2018, and he deliberated that those final aspects should be included into the national education policy. And none other than she does ensure that those to be an embedded and integral part of the curriculum. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our request and being here and always taking bringing new aspects into the modern language education, linking it to the traditional Indian wisdom. And Manthan, churning of thoughts, churning of ideas, coming out with specific inputs to make curriculum more enriched. And in our endeavor to bring students onto the path of ancient wisdom, we need to make that constant effort where the student should be brought back to the realm of Indian knowledge system, which somehow we have missed it in the name of modern management practices. And I'm sure these 2 days of deliberation will lead to thought-provoking sessions and inputs how the curriculum can be enriched. IMA has set up this Vice Chancellor Council with the intention to bring all the policy makers, leaders, dean directors, and the Vice Chancellors to be a part of it and put forth the aspects where industry wants to bring this into actual practice. And I'm sure these deliberations will help us in coming over those final points that we can recommend to the industries that yes, this can also be taken into consideration. I am sure this will be a stepping stone at ICFAI Higher Education Bangalore, because for the information of all, today ICFAI Higher Education has set up a center for Indian knowledge system at this campus, and in the days to come, it will be asking you all more to contribute in a meaningful and enriching manner. Thank you so very much.
I invite Dr. Muthu Vinay, Pro-Vice Chancellor, ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education Bangalore, to give his address.
Happy morning and namaskara to all of you. Welcome to this conclave. On behalf of ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education and IMA, it is a great pleasure to welcome you all here today by name. I want to specially greet our distinguished guests, Dr. Sitaraman, Chairman AICT, Professor Sridhara, Padma Shri Yewadi, and the leader of Chanakya University and CES, and Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi, VCI, you will be having any time, and our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Koti Reddy, Dr. Rohit Singh, Director IMA. My special welcome to Soumya, who was there with us, and all the members from IMA, and my dear Vice Chancellors, Directors, Deans, head of the departments, faculty members, and my directors, my deans, my faculty members, and my staff members, especially to my all buddy managers today. Welcome. Now, in the morning only we have started with the Vande Mataram, that is the wisdom of India. We are gathered today for a very important reason. We are talking about something about that is in the heart of India. Everybody talk India in this talk. Bring India's ancient knowledge into today's higher education. How to get into that? I think these 2 days celebrations will make out how we are doing this. For thousands of years, India has been a deep wisdom. Think about it, from the ancient medical practice of Ayurveda to the math of Aryabhatta. Our ancestors were not just looking for the knowledge, they were living it. Now today we are talking about AI. It is nothing but how to live with the modern technology. And they explored the universe, they focused on healing, and they thought deeply about life itself. This inspiration continues to touch the world. Now I will give a live example how this has been done. I think in 1995, actually I was working in Maharishi Institute of Management, Maharishi Maheshwari. I was a professor there, and I have been given to teach 3 courses. One is I'm a statistician, business statistics, information on computers, and the applied computer technology. Believe it or not, the knowledge what we are talking now, it was imparted before by the outsiders, all by people. See, we used to have a syllabus, such a syllabus, course content was there, and it translated into the knowledge of English. Just I will read one topic. So why I wanted to get into this completely, we had this knowledge, but nobody implemented. It was failed. Maharishi Maheshwari had started the MBA program with the Vedic knowledge. Just I will read one course and read the why it has been done. Now the first chapter which I want to talk about, computer in business. Computer in business, just I will read one thing. See,
volume. The output. Volume.
the power of in English, I'll read in English. The power of computers come from now performing very simple, basic operations extremely quickly, accurately, and reliably. When translated to the Vedic knowledge, what we used to call as the consciousness, what we used to call in Maheshwari, a fully developed human being enjoys complete simplicity. When you have everything, he becomes simple like our Sridharasa. Simple like simplicity, along with the ability to accomplish anything. When you are positive, you accomplish anything. When you get a knowledge from our all four, whatever you are saying here, we get everything. So why I wanted to give, because today we are talking about the Indian knowledge system, it was there. But we are talking about other things, but nobody will. Because I have you saw the paper also which is there. The oldest 15 years back, 1915. We implemented, but we could not take. Now I think these 2 days deliberations will take that how to make this Indian system into the complex. But somewhere along the way, as we built modern colleges, we started to see our own rich intellectual history as just something from the past. We copied ways of teaching from other countries. Now we are talking about India. We copied a lot of them completely. We started to judge success, the standards that were not our own. Now we are establishing a foreign university in India. This is the time we have to imbibe our Indian knowledge system to them how we are in the knowledge system. Why this matters today? Today, we are here to change. All the vice chancellors, directors are there to change this entire. Yet we can change it if wanted. Bring Indian knowledge system into our universities is not about the background, looking background. It's about the relevance of the future. Now, I end with the quote, I'm in position, 2000. So I translated the Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, 42 sloka. Organs, it is said, are much great. Organs, it is said, that much great. More than organs, mind is the great. More than organs, mind is the great. More than mind, intellect is the great. More than mind, intellect is the great. Greater than intellect, the ultimate. Ultimately, we are there to change total world, whatever we are talking about our knowledge system. This is, thus, in each of us, there is a physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual planets. What we are talking 2 days before, with the different kinds of energy and the spirit. And with this, again, I welcome all the vice chancellors and the chief guests and everybody who is involved. I think these 2 days will make us a great day. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor and a privilege to now invite Professor T.G. Sitaram, Chairman AICFAI. Sir, we request you to deliver your keynote address, please.
Very good. Namaskar. Sabhi ko namaskar. I know many vice chancellors are there from across the country. Professor M.K. Sridhar, President says, and all the dignitaries on the dais, off the dais. It's indeed a privilege to join all of you at this Vice Chancellor's conclave with the theme, Anthem, Integrating Indian Knowledge System, a contemporary higher education. First of all, let me express my deep appreciation to IMS Vice Chancellor Council for bringing together such a distinguished assembly of academic leadership to reflect upon the philosophical, pedagogical, and practical pathways for integrating Indian knowledge system into modern higher education. Friends, today is an important day. As you already sung, the Vande Mataram, which is one of the most significant patriotic songs in Indian history. Its importance, I don't need to emphasize. It is historical, cultural, and emotional. As it became a symbol of India's struggle for independence, this Vande Mataram means salutations to motherland. So Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay in Sanskrit, he wrote this, and also in Bengali through his novel Ananda Mata in 1882. So we have taken this, today is the 150th year's celebration, and the Prime Minister actually at 9:50 sang with the nation. Every institution has participated. Some of the Vice Chancellor, if you have not instructed your institutions, please instruct them to sing this today and upload the photographs and pictures of all the students singing this together on the website of Ministry of Education. A circular is already there to all of you. So today, let me come back to today's gathering. I feel, today morning, and some of you may not know, we launched the ICFAI Center for Indian Knowledge System. Both Professor Sridhar and myself jointly launched. And let me congratulate the ICFAI for thinking about that. Friends, we are at a defining moment in the Indian education system. Today, we are one of the largest education systems. It is going to be much larger in another 10 years. Because our goal through the NEP 2020 is to achieve a GER of 50% by 2035. I think all of you know the story. How did we get here in the GER? So when we got independence, we are 1% of our outgoing school children coming to the university. Only 1%. So we proved Lord Macaulay right, because he said it in 1880s or 1890s to the British Parliament that Indians would go good for higher education. So starting from 1947, so 2001 we reached this number to 11%. That means we grew in 54 years 10% GDP. Almost 54 years. 1947 to 2001. 2025, all of you know the numbers, 29 point something. That means we grew another 18% in 25 years. That growth is phenomenal. The last 25 years is a big growth in higher education. But what we are expecting is phenomenal or transformational. In another 10 years, we want to reach 21%, which we have not achieved in the last 75 years of independence. So it's a big task. And many of us think that we have too many universities, too many colleges. But let me tell you, if another 5 crore children come to higher education, I don't know who is going to accommodate whom. And you are seeing every college, every program is full. Every program is full. You might look at that. So this is the biggest challenge for actually Indian higher education, to accommodate and put our students into higher education. This is only 50% of them. Please understand, there is another 50% of students. We need to skill them, put into jobs. So education to employment is the major focus for us. When we are doing that, when we are defining the movement of Indian education system, a big disruption has come in 2 modes. One was in a positive mode. Through the COVID-19, we all suffered. But it has put us, actually, we leapfrogged the technology of usage. Everybody was ready to use the technology after the COVID process. Okay? But the another one is the NEP. See, it came in 2019 and the right time talks about flexibility, equity, accessibility in higher education or every education. So the national education policy has set forth a visionary paradigm that reforms education rooted in Indian ethos, transforming Bharat into a knowledge society that is both global and deeply grounded in its civilizational identity. So it's very beautifully coined words, but however the challenge in front of us, if you read that properly, how do we put the Indian ethos into our curriculum is a big challenge. Because most of us still speak only in English, because let me honestly tell you, we do not know how to speak in our own mother tongues yet. I think that's the first change we need to bring. And ICFAI has done tremendous efforts, putting Bhasha in the front, and we have created a Bhasha ka Bandhan. That is, what do you mean by that is, I will tell you today we have started both polytechnic and engineering programs in mother tongue. 12 languages we have already started the program, and first batch of students in Marathi, in BTech in data science and artificial intelligence, taught in Marathi, graduated with 75% employment in the city of Pune. And we heard the class, but all of you are leaders, vice chancellors. You need to create this. I know there is a hesitation, but you need to create. So where are the textbooks? ICFAI has created the textbooks, model curriculum, out of the box. Outcome-based education books are being created for both polytechnic and engineering education already, and all is made freely available to you through our e-Kumbh portal. If you have not seen one, please see that. Electronic Kumbh of ICFAI portal hosts close to 600 textbooks, at least 5 streams: civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics, computer science, or 5 streams. All the books have been developed and ready to available to all free of cost. And I am actually happy to tell you one more good information. If you have not downloaded, you will feel guilty. There's 10 lakhs downloads have happened already in this portal. That's not the only one that we have created. We have trained large number of teachers. Because today, with the disruption of artificial intelligence, the people who are not ready are not the students actually, the teachers. So we need to upskill them, reskill them, put them into newer process. That's where Indian knowledge is also going to help. Because today's more of teachers is no more conventional. See, we all, at least majority of the senior people, learned their schooling, education, everything, higher education, PhDs, everything, through teacher-assisted learning. That means my teacher used to come and write it on the board and then take the notes, write the exam, rote learning. I don't need to say this very distinguished gathering here. But today, we have transformed that actually to an extent, but I would like to see that more and more happening. That is, today learning happens through self-learning. That is, Swayam Plus, National Education Alliance for Technology, microcredit courses are all there where students learn from themselves, not waiting to teacher to tell them to learn. Second, we are also doing peer learning, collaborative learning through competitions like Smart India Hackathon. Friends, today SIH attracts about 500,000 students directly. Okay, it's going to be the world, one of the open innovation platform where hackathon happens, problem solving, critical thinking are happening. So it's a not time when NEP has come in, it's not time. So what needs to be done today, today's discussion on the Indian knowledge system is, India has always been a cradle of learning place. So the Gurukula system, if you go back, I just came back from yesterday from Vishwabharati. I was seeing even the schools today still happens below the tree. Maybe not the curriculum. Not the curriculum. But what I'm trying to say is, it really happens below the tree, even today. Now, some of you have not seen it, won't see that. So the small groups, they will start working, thinking about it, working together. Amazing to see the young people sitting there, and learning in a different model. Okay, if it rains, they have a place also to go. So don't worry, it's not just always under the tree. But what is important is, how do we really integrate in the land of tradition, the land of knowledge? Starting from Aryabhatta to zero to decimal system, whatnot, Sushrutas, surgery, everything this nation has given to this civilization. So two distinct characteristics define Indian knowledge paradigms. One is holistic, the view that knowledge is interconnected, science, philosophy, art, ethics, well-being and society are inseparable. So all of these have to be taught. How do we teach them? NEP emphasizes multidisciplinary learning. We are still hearing from many vice chancellors, we have already implemented NEP, they say, but I don't know what part they have implemented. Okay, because NEP cannot be so easily implemented in every true sense. Purpose-driven learning trends, knowledge was never pursued merely for livelihood alone, but unfortunately today education has become employment oriented. Because they need to also work. So the realistic terms are also in front of us and challenges are also there in front of us. So the well-being of the individual and the collective, Sarvodaya is a principle in mind and thought, but how do we implement that on the ground is the big challenge for us. So friends, from Takshashila to Nalanda, from the Gurukula to the Madrasas of Lucknow, from Charaka to Sushruta in Ayurveda to Aryabhatta to Brahmagupta in mathematics, from Panini in linguistics to Anandavardhana and Abhinav Gupta in aesthetics, and from Gandharva Veda in music to Natya Shastra in performing arts, India created a comprehensive and integrated education system. But where are we today? We are just following the rote learning what British left us to become class. However, in the post-colonial academic narrative, a disconnect gradually emerged between what India had known and what India began to teach. Today, we are reversing that historical discontinuity, and it is a journey of 5 years. Fantastic experiments have been done across the country through many leadership of the vice chancellors who have done. One such experiment was even the organizing the convocation itself, a very simple convocation, in an Indian way, with an Indian dress. Okay? So today we are, but ask the question, what is the relevance of ICFAI in modern times? Friends, India's knowledge tradition spanning philosophy, mathematics, medicine, astronomy, literature, what we need to do is a holistic and multidisciplinary learning. We need to also put the ancient Indian text containing insights into sustainable technologies, agriculture, metallurgy, architecture, Vastu Shastra, and environmental management. And we need to re-examine these in light of modern science, which can spur context-specific innovations. Value-based education is very important and not today. That's where AICT has also done the human value course, and we have lakhs and lakhs of teachers have been trained on universal human values, UHV courses. And a lot of them have been very useful to many of them have told me directly. And these courses are available today online on a Swayam portal, so that they can even get a minor degree in universal human values. That means that so many that 6 courses are available to you readily available to integrate that into your course system. So students would know what for they are here in this mother earth, what for they are here, what they should be doing, what are the good things we need to inculcate in life. That's most important than just make them employable or employable. Friends, let's be clear. Indian knowledge systems are not relics of the past. They are frameworks of understanding that address present and emerging global challenges. When the world searches for sustainable development, India speaks about dharma, balance, harmony, and ethical responsibility. It is time immemorial. We need to bring that back again. When the world grapples with mental health crisis, India offers yoga meditation. If you go to America, the majority of them have a problem with the mental health. And today, through meditation, the whole world is actually reading around, thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister, who put that 190 plus countries are following yoga and meditation, daily ritual in them, which is scientifically proven methodology for holistic well-being. And how many of us have made this compulsory in our institutions? This is a big question we need to ask. When global education system today seek interdisciplinary and experiential learning, India has demonstrated to certain extent a millennia of integrated learning system that combine logic with aesthetics, science with philosophy, knowledge with compassion. When digital disruption challenges our definitions of purpose and identity, IKS provides the ontological grounding necessary for ethical navigation of technological process. Friends, IKS is not merely relevant, it is necessary. NEP 2020, a structural turning point, has provided a philosophical framework, a curriculum mandate, institutional impetus, a foundational shift, and foundational shift wherein Indian ethos is seen as a driving force of the global leadership. So in this time, in particularly with the disruption of technologies through artificial intelligence, cyber security, and all these, what has happened is we need to now re-engage our young people in a different context. So we at the ICFAI, we have established the IKS division in the last 5 years. It works with us, but I'm very happy to tell you it has grown very big now. I also attracted independent funding in collaboration with Ministry of Education. Development of open access IKS course modules for higher education institutions has been already attempted. Several IKS courses are already available. And approved minor degree programs in yoga, Indian knowledge systems, and Vedic mathematics has already been started by several institutions. So these are institutional foundations, but the implementation lies with our universities through curricular design, faculty development, and research ecosystems. Friends, to meaningfully integrate IKS, we must move beyond symbolism and adopt structurally planned academic strategies and propose 6 key dimensions for higher education institutions. One is the curricular integration, wherein IKS must move from being an elective or ornamental to becoming contextually embedded across disciplines. It's not going to happen so easily. Bharatiya Bhasha Pustak scheme, Ministry, as Government of India has launched, has that very nature that every one of us writing a book, I think those who have written a book know how difficult it is to write a book. And it doesn't happen in time-bound manner, because it is a challenging task. But when the book is written in a very, very organized way through the Bhasha Pustak scheme plan, everybody will start thinking about it, asking questions and doing a research. So the research culture also will get into all of our minds. So some of the books what we are thinking from the engineering point of view is engineering with Vastu and ancient metallurgical sciences, economics with Arthasastra, psychology with Yoga Vedanta frameworks, public policy with the Dharma Shastra traditions, neuroscience with Ayurveda and consciousness studies, design and architecture with temple geometry and spatial mathematics. Friends, in the second point, which I would like to emphasize, is on research and knowledge production, new knowledge production. We must create new knowledge grounded in IKS and validated by contemporary frameworks, not merely restate what is already known. The third one is the important task which I emphasized already, that is the faculty development. IKS integration requires an academic investment in nurturing scholars capable of teaching its epistemology, hermeneutics and methodologies. So the challenge for us is in IKS there are experts but they do not have PhDs. So we need to bring them into the institutions. It's a very big challenge. So internationalization, IKS also has to be taken to the global level. So IKS provides a unique academic identity that can attract global students seeking world philosophies, wellness sciences and cultural knowledge systems. You know, most of these foreign students today visiting India are coming for such courses than just a conventional engineering and science courses. So we need, if you incorporate IKS into this program, there is a good chance that we may attract the students who are interested in both. The last but not the point, skill and employability details. How do we use this new emerging concept of IKS? Not just as an intellectual heritage, but strong vocational livelihood dimensions as well. So that is very, very clearly visible to all of us. Is Ayurveda, naturopathy, what it has done, the treatment systems or whatever, that is one thing we could take that as a business proposition as well as in our institutions. Yoga therapy and wellness, Indian textiles, handlooms and crafts clusters, indigenous agricultural systems, classical music and performing arts industries, etc. So I told you yesterday, I was in the Vishwabharati in Shantiniketan. All these 6 streams are going on for last 100 years. But their challenge was different for me. They put it to me. Sir, we are not in the NIR, how do you have come into it? This is a big challenge, the dichotomy between the patents and the publications, okay, and copyrights are the most important, are really to teach what we believe in. This is a big dichotomy, and I know it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. I think all this will be right in solve. This debate in the next 2 days, starting from this morning. And what is most important at the young is the last point of mine is the community and the social connect. Whatever we do. So the university must serve the custodians and transmitters of cultural wisdom to society. And not just academic consumers of ancient knowledge. Because nobody wants it unless, as you rightly said, you need an NIRF, you need a NAC, you need all those ranking parameters as well. But unless we integrate it into every stream of that, it's a becomes a challenge and maybe there's a discussion point in such meetings. So we need to take such discussion points beyond. So respected Vice Chancellors, the future of IKS integration will be determined not by policy documents alone, but by institutional will and scholarly leadership. So university is not an administrative structure, it is a living knowledge ecosystem. Only when Vice Chancellors lead with conviction through creating new curriculum committees and taking bold steps, and also addressing through your faculty council, not get a direction from AICTE or UGC. You have to stop asking for directions. You should create your own directions at your level using your academic councils, okay? And then only all this can happen very easily, rather than, then you will be ready to do that at your level. Therefore, let this conclave be a mantra, a deep journey, not just of ideas, but of commitments. So what we reclaim today is not a nostalgia, friends, but civilizational continuity. what we build today is not just an academic reform, but Bharat as a global Vishwaguru, rooted in knowledge, ethics, and humanity. In the spirit of Upanishads, let me close with a thought. Vidya gives freedom. Savidya ye mrutte. Education is that which liberates. That's the final thing. But still, we all know the realities of life as well. But today, we liberate our curriculum from fragmentation, our identity from amnesia, and our universities from intellectual dependence. Let us rise to this responsibility. Let us lead India and the world towards a knowledge future that is integrated, ethical, sustainable, and truly human. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Professor Sitaraman, sir, thank you so much for this very inspiring keynote address. It's my pleasure to welcome on the stage IMA Vice Chancellor Council Co-Chair, Professor Rakesh Mohan Joshi, VC IIFT New Delhi. I request Dr. S. Vijayalakshmi, Registrar, ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education, to welcome sir with a bunch of flowers. Thank you, ma'am. I request our guest of honor, Professor M.K. Sridhar, Padma Shri Awardee, member of Governor Chanakya University and President SES, to kindly deliver his address.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. All the people present on the stage of this speech, on the screen also. I think I think just now we heard Professor Sitaram delivering his keynote for this two-day conference, rather conclave of Vice Chancellors with regard to Indian knowledge system and how do we integrate it in today's higher education system. I think many of his points were very, very useful, relevant, and very practical also. I also take this opportunity to say a couple of things very briefly because it is followed by a panel discussion where I think I will speak more. When we are talking about Indian knowledge system, the starting point should not be yesterday. The starting point must be today and tomorrow. Many a time when we talk about Indian knowledge system, we always mention, it is so many hundreds of years, thousands of years. No doubt about it. But actually, the entire discussion is happening today. And we are initiating action for tomorrow. Today we initiate, the impact will be tomorrow. So therefore, the entire paradigm of Indian knowledge system has to be looked from the angle of today, what are the issues? Today, what are the problems? Today, what are the challenges? Not only in our limited context, but in our villages, in our cities, in our states, in our country, and the entire world. So I think this is a very, very important perspective with which we need to think. I hope and wish that in the 2 days that we have, all of us will gather. I think we will deliberate more on what needs to be done today and how do we start doing it at the micro level of institutions. I take this opportunity to thank IMA and ICFAI Higher Education Foundation for having given me an opportunity of being present here. And let me only clarify one important point that Mr. Singh mentioned in his welcome. The Bharatiya management, which was initiated by Center for Education Social Studies. Actually, the real credit goes to Professor Sudhakar and Professor Gaulish Joshi. Actually, they are the ones who really led that entire thing for the last 7-8 years. So thank you, friends. I think we will take this forward and do our own might in it. Namaskar.
Thank you, Professor Sridhar, for your words of wisdom and blessings, sir. Now I invite Professor Kuti Reddy, Vice Chancellor, ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education, to deliver his address, please.
Respected Professor T.G. Sitaram, Chairman AICTE, Professor M.K. Sridhar, President SES, Dr. Rohit Singh, Director All India Management Association, Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi, Vice Chancellor IIFT, Professor Mudilai, Professor Pro Vice Chancellor ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education, Bangalore, distinguished Vice Chancellors, Directors, Deans, and other dignitaries who have come from here from various parts of the country. On behalf of ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education and IMA, it is my immense pleasure and a distinct honor to welcome you all to the inaugural session of Vice Chancellor's Conclave on integrating Indian knowledge systems in contemporary higher education. The integration of Indian knowledge system into higher education has gained momentum in the recent years, aiming to bridge traditional wisdom with contemporary education. The Indian knowledge system encompasses a vast repository of indigenous wisdom, including mathematics, philosophy, medicine, ancient sciences, and environmental sustainability. Despite their historical significance, Indian knowledge system has been largely marginalized due to colonial education policies. However, with the growing interest in holistic and interdisciplinary education, now as far as the new education policy is concerned, we have focused more on introducing multidisciplinary courses as well as interdisciplinary courses. And with the growing interest in holistic and interdisciplinary education, there is a renewed emphasis on integrating Indian knowledge system into contemporary curriculum. The National Education Policy 2020 acknowledges the significance of Indian knowledge system and advocates for its integration into higher education to foster critical thinking, interdisciplinary learning, and cultural pride. So, by incorporating Indian knowledge system, we, the education institutions, can develop a well-rounded curriculum that encourages holistic education and innovation. The incorporating Indian knowledge system into higher education is essential nowadays for enhancing cultural awareness and identity, making students aware of India's intellectual heritage. The traditional Indian education emphasized overall development of an individual, addressing physical, mental, and spiritual aspects, aligning with the principles of holistic education. It also offers alternative perspectives on various disciplines such as health sciences, ecology, and ethics, which are highly relevant in the current context. The sustained practices embedded in the Indian knowledge system can also contribute to solve global environmental issues. The ethical teachings embodied in Indian philosophies such as Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Samakya, Yoga, Mimamsa and Vedanta guide to decision making, leadership and moral conduct, making them invaluable for contemporary education. The Indian scholars have made significant contributions to various scientific fields such as mathematics, astronomy, medicine, metallurgical and engineering, many of which are more relevant today. These contributions highlight the scientific rigor of Indian knowledge system, making it an essential part of interdisciplinary learning in higher education. On the other hand, the Indian artistic and aesthetic traditions such as performing arts, musical and literature, visual arts and architecture into higher education. If you integrate these performing arts into higher education, students can develop cultural awareness, emotional intelligence and a deeper appreciation for interdisciplinary learning. The key initiatives for Indian knowledge system under new education policy 2020 are encouraging interdisciplinary research combining Indian knowledge system with modern science, establishing dedicated Indian knowledge system centers in universities and research institutions, introducing IKS-based courses and digital learning platforms, promoting bilingual and multilingual languages to preserve regional knowledge traditions. So although there are numerous issues and challenges in terms of integrating the Indian knowledge system into higher education, a systematic approach involving curriculum standardization, research promotion, teacher training and policy support can facilitate the successful incorporation of Indian knowledge system in higher education. To sum up, the successful integration of Indian knowledge system into higher education requires a strategic, interdisciplinary and policy-driven approach that balances traditional wisdom with contemporary advances. Integrating disciplines such as Ayurveda, Vedic, mathematics, astronomy, philosophy and traditional arts with modern sciences and technology will not only enrich contemporary education but also promote sustainable and contextually relevant learning models. To realize the vision, a collaborative effort is needed among the policymakers, educators, researchers and knowledge custodians to ensure that Indian knowledge system is scientifically validated, globally recognized and effectively embedded within the evolving education landscape. On behalf of ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education and IMA, I thank the Pro-Vice Chancellor of IFHE, Professor Mudhi Vinay Garu, and the Dean, Professor Vinay Joshi, and all the members of the organizing committee, advisory committee, for an excellent organization of this conclave. I wish you all a fruitful discussion and intensive professional interaction during these 2 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kudi Reddy sir, for setting the context for our next 2 days of deliberations. I now invite Professor Rakesh Mohan Joshi to say a few words.
Thank you, Soumya. Honorable, respected Professor M.K. Sridhar, Professor Sitaram, Professor Kam Sabapati, and Professor K.T. Reddy, Professor Uttu Banerjee. Many thanks for inviting me and hosting the IMA along with IMA. So on behalf of IMA and my own behalf, I am very grateful to the organizers and to each one of you and Nimbe Tumba Tumba Sarta Matsu Abhinandana in this conclave. Thank you. And it's a real opportunity to be in the city of Bangalore because I love Bangalore, and then to be with Professor Sridharji, because I think the IKS system in India, he has been the pioneer of that. He only talk of that and he has implemented. So, sir, tumma namaskar. And more than that, he has been so gracious enough, which most of us are not, that he has given the entire credit to Professor Sudhakar and Gaurisha ji, who has done the work. Sudhakar ji is there and one side smiling. But if you go to Bhagavad Gita, it says, Yatyat acharti sheshtha tate vitraha janasah yat pramanam kurte lokah tadarvartate. So credit goes to the leader. Yatyat acharti, whatever the leader does, everybody follows. So, but it requires outstanding guts to share the credit to those who have worked. So thank you so much. And then you have got very distinguished scientist, who is incidentally now the chairman of AICT, but he is a so distinguished scientist that I think most of you will not know that अयोध्या में जब राम मंदिर खुद रहा था तो उन्होंने कहा 14 फीट और खोद दिया, उन्होंने मना किया मत खोदिए, तो जब उसको खोदा गया तो उसके अंदर एक पूरा मंदिर निकला. You have, I don't know how many of you know about it. And Champakaraj ji himself, praised it. तो सर आप इसके बारे में जरा इनसे शेयर कीजिए कभी मौका मिले तो. And then he has been during the COVID period. हाँ, वो तो एक और कहानी है. COVID period, nobody want to go, and he as the director of IIT Guwahati चुपचाप चले गए. And he made his own report. And another thing, he was also associated with this Chenab bridge, which is also that Banda. So I think we are in company of the great people. And आपने सर सुबह बहुत अच्छी बात बताई that वंदे मातरम. I think all of us are celebrating वंदे मातरम in all of our university company कर रहे हैं. तो उसके अंदर India is amazing. और आपका भारतीय knowledge system has no beginning and no end. And probably if you look into India कहना थोड़ा ठीक नहीं होगा, it is Bharat, which I think Professor Sridhar ji has been expressing. तो भारत इतना नहीं है, अभी तो कट पिट गया है हमारा भारत. If you go to Indonesia, the highest revenue earning in Indonesia and the international tourism is Ramayana. हमारे यहाँ तो रामायण होती नहीं है, कभी-कभी होती है, लेकिन वहाँ पे in the temples, all temples, in Bali temples, the Ramayana every day, because they are money out of it. हम तो secular हैं, but if you go to the world's largest Muslim country, Indonesia's capital Jakarta, अर्जुन की और कृष्ण को भगवत गीता का उपदेश देते हुए इतना बड़ा स्टैचू है कि फोटो खींचेंगे तो फोटो नहीं खींचता है, तो इट सो बिग. गलत नहीं होता. एंड आई थिंक व्हेन यू गो टू देयर म्यूजियम इन जकार्ता, वो सारे बच्चों को लेके आते हैं, कहते हैं दीज आर योर एंसेस्टर्स एंड लर्न इट. आई आल्सो रोट फॉर ऑर्गेनाइजर एंड दैट पांचजन्य व्हिच आई कीप ऑन राइटिंग. मैंने एक बार लिखा द ग्लोबल गणेश. दे हैव बिकम change the religion, but the culture remains. तो गणेश जी की फोटो उनके यहाँ लगाते हैं. And I think you know or not, the airline जैसे आपके Indian airline है, their airline is Garuda, the national airline in. So despite of changing the religion, they remain with the Sanskritized names. ऊपर थोड़ा चले जाओ, आपको पता है कि जो ट्रम्प ने समझौता कराया जिसके लिए उनको नोबेल प्राइज मिलना चाहिए, ऐसा वो कहते हैं. The लड़ाई between Indonesia, between Thailand and Cambodia was primarily of a Shiva temple based in Cambodia. आपको पता होगा, because it was a big this thing. And I do not know you know or not, Thailand, despite being a Buddhist country, the coronation of king is being done by a Hindu pandit. गणेश जी को मानते हैं. और सबसे बड़ा अच्छा वो कहता है अयोध्या भी हमारे यहाँ पे, आपके यहाँ नहीं है. And Cambodia think that the Samudra Manthan happened in Cambodia, and the Angkor Wat is probably the biggest Vishnu temple on the earth. हिंदुस्तान में नहीं. एक जमाने में कहते हैं 1000 साल पहले 10,000 people used to live in the temple Prangad. हमारे यहाँ भी ऐसा नहीं है. And I think what you talk with the Guru Shishya Parampara, the culture in India and the knowledge system flew with the Guru Shishya Parampara. Ved, you know Ved. Ved means knowledge, which छोड़ दीजिए, उनको भी वेद, तो विद्वान को हु इज नॉलेजेबल, वेद वेद होता है ना हमारे यहाँ पे, हम डॉक्टर को वैद्य कहते हैं, बट उसका मतलब है वेद यह है, हु इज नॉलेजेबल इज वेद, अलग अलग कर दिया। अच्छा, संस्कृत इज एन अमेजिंग लैंग्वेज, इंग्लिश इज इवॉल्विंग, संस्कृत was evolved 3000 years before. There is no grammar better than Panini's. Concise, 1000 पेज आप लिख दीजिए एक छोटी सी चीज के ऊपर, न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के ऊपर राइट thousands of the pages and nobody reads it. But do you know the total size of Panini grammar is only 3900 or 400 sutra. Soup पिएंगे ना, soup, do you know soup क्या होता है? What is soup? Soup is not an English word. Su in Sanskrit means extract. It is sutra, soup. It is extract. हमारे यहाँ तो सूत्र थोड़ा अंग्रेजी सीख रहे तो करते हैं. Go is a Sanskrit word, not an English word. Go means to go, and ga is to go. So scientific. Only, and do you know, learning all Indian language is very easy. मैं इसलिए बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि यहाँ पे मैंने पहले कन्नड़ सीखी, so I know ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ, not much, and then because I know the roots, all of you can learn it. It's easy. हाँ, धातु. There are only 800 to 1000 roots. If you learn it, you can understand any language in the whole country. But unfortunately, you don't learn. हमारा तो पढ़ाने का सिस्टम ही बड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स है. I don't want to blame anybody. So हुआ क्या कि मुझको ये रूट सीखने के लिए अंग्रेजी गुरुओं की शरण लेनी पड़ी. गलत नहीं बता. मैकडॉनल्ड की मैंने किताब पढ़ी, मैंने lot of Indian, because they have done forward. हमारे, and therefore, sir, निम्न तुम्बा compliments for having this system. India is amazing. और बंदे सुजलाम सुफलाम. अरे हमारी ये धरती है ना, ऐसी तो पूरी दुनिया में नहीं. Jal is water. Jal is made from jay. Jay is bark. तो है ना, जन है, अनुज है, तनुज है, दनुज है. It is all jay. Jan है. It's very easy. So there is no language on the earth which give you word of a letter. हमारे यहाँ हर शब्द का मीनिंग है. And if you know that, तो इतना ये रटना थोड़ी पड़ता है. English is confusing, we are not. And then मलय शीतलाम शस्त्र श्यामलाम, तो बहुत कुछ है, बताना मुश्किल है मेरे लिए. फुल्ल कुसुमित द्रोणदल शोभिनी, क्या जगह का. Full means flowering, kusum is flowers, और drum is gach, the trees and the plants. आपको पता है दुबई के अंदर सब कहते हैं, दुबई, ओमान, सऊदी अरेबिया, there is not a single river there. नदी नहीं है, तो जल नहीं है, तो जीवन नहीं है. But they made them so big. हिंदुस्तान में तो नदियां भरी हुई हैं. Amazing. And today we are talking in the international this thing. People are basically telling us to be environmental friendly. because मेरा फील्ड अलग है. शीधर साहब समझते हैं, हम लोग थोड़े कॉमर्स मैनेजमेंट के लोग हैं. I work on internationalization. They talk of sustainability. We cannot export our product because of sustainability into the European markets. बहुत सारी परेशानी है. अरे हम तो पहले से ही सस्टेनेबल हैं, हमको तुम क्या सस्टेनेबल बनाओगे? दशपूर्वो समोवापी, दशवापी समोहृदय, दश हृदय समोपुत्र, दश पुत्र समधुम. 10 कुएं के बराबर एक बावड़ी होती है. हमारे राजस्थान में बावड़ी होती है, सम वाटर बॉडी. और 10 बावड़ी के बराबर एक तालाब होता है, और 10 तालाब के बराबर एक पुत्र होता है, और 10 पुत्रों समधुम एक पेड़ होता है. तो हमारे यहाँ तो पेड़ों को बनाने की पहले से ही परंपरा रही है. And then you want to ban the products from India. Those who understand that, we know that European Union is imposing the CBA, Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, EU Deforestation Act, on which I think we are negotiating. I have a team of professors who travel with all negotiations. Donald Trump has shattered something. तो मेरे को शायद बोलने का वक्त खत्म है, कभी और मौका मिलेगा तो मैं आपको बताऊंगा. But India is amazing. Only thing is, and India is globalizing in education. Never before. अभी आप देखिए कि lot of universities are coming. I met that this UK. I think they already have got 7-9 universities. 3 they have come in the GIFT city. 3 they have come in Gurgaon. They have a massive plan. Lot of universities are coming. India will be able to sustain its education system only if we sustain the Bharati knowledge system. Namaskar. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi. We will have another opportunity to listen to Dr. Joshi in the session which is after lunch on IKS to meet the goal of internalization at home. So, thank you so much, sir, for setting the context once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be witnessing an important milestone of building institutional excellence, and I invite Dr. Rajesh from ICFAI to make that announcement.
Namaste, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Inspired by this conclave mantra and to align with one of our goals of IFHE to equip our students with Indian knowledge, culture and tradition, our leadership team led by our Co-Vice Chancellor Muthuvilay sir, supported by our Vice Chancellor Kotti Reddy sir, decided to start a Center of Excellence on IKS on this campus. And this morning, we were privileged to have it inaugurated by Chief Guest M.K. Shiva sir and Sitaraman sir. So thank you for blessing us with this opportunity to start this Center of Excellence. To seek guidance and support on this endeavor, we have collaborated with 2 institutions of high repute. One, which we have been hearing and will hear more in the next 2 days, Center for Education Social Studies, CES, which is an institution recognized by ICSSR, committed towards bringing social transformation through and with education. It is engaged in research, policy advocacy and more. And as far as IKS is concerned, it is engaged in developing and theories in Indian economic theory and Indian management thought. One more institution we are collaborating with is Predna Prava, an Indian organization that works to foster a deeper understanding and appreciation of India's cultural and intellectual heritage. So, after this initiation, we approached these 2 organizations and they are very much welcoming to collaborate with us and guide us on this endeavor. With the good wishes of all the luminaries and those present here, we wanted to enter a formal MOU with them. May I now request Dr. Gaurisha, Director of Center of Education Social Studies, and Dr. Muralidhar, Member of Executive Education Council of CES, to please come on to the dais. And I request our Pro-Vice Chancellor Muthuvilay sir to please extend the vote. So I request the Kotti Reddy sir. I also request Dr. Puneet, convener of Predna Pravaha, to please come on to the dais. I also request GP Sudhakar sir to please join, sir, please. We seek support and guidance of all the members in the audience in this endeavor. We'll get in touch with you for more of these details. I thank Rohit Singh ji and Dr. Somaji for accommodating this request. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh. बहुत शुभकामनाएं ICFAI को. Enlightening addresses by the distinguished speakers of the inaugural session, and now we would like to express our gratitude. On behalf of ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education, May I request Dr. Muthu Vinay to present a memento to Professor T.G. Sitaram, Chairman, ICT. Thank you so much, sir, for doing the honors. I now invite Dr. Koti Reddy, sir, to present a memento to Professor N.K. Sridhar, please. Thank you, sir. I'll invite Dr. Vinay Joshi to kindly present a memento to Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi, please. Thank you, Dr. Joshi. As a token of gratitude on behalf of IMA, may I request Dr. Rohit Singh to present a memento to Dr. Sitaram, Chairman, AICTE. Dr. Rohit Singh, kindly thank Professor N.K. Sridhar, please. Dr. Singh? Dr. Joshi. Sir, our sincere thanks to Dr. Koti Reddy. Dr. Singh, I'll also request you to please thank Dr. Koti Reddy. Now may I invite Dr. Vinay Joshi, conclave host convener, to present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Very good morning to one and all. It's my privilege and honor to propose the vote of thanks at the inaugural session of the Vice Chancellor Conclave Manthan, Information Indian Knowledge, Integrating Indian Knowledge System ICAS in Contemporary Higher Education, hosted by ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education Bangalore campus in collaboration with All India Management Association IMA and supporting partner AICTE. Thank you, sir. At the outset, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our Chief Guest Professor T.G. Sitaraman, Chairman AICTE, for his inspiring keynote address. Your insights on the role of Indian knowledge system in shaping the future of higher education have set a powerful tone for his conclave. Thank you, sir. We are deeply grateful to Professor N.K. Sridhar, President CESS, for gracing us as the guest of honor and for his enlightening reflection on the relevance of Indian tradition in modern academia. Thank you so much, sir. Our sincere thanks to Professor Rakesh Mohan Joshi, Vice Chancellor, IIT New Delhi, for his insightful, thoughtful address. Thank you, sir. A special word of appreciation, Dr. Koti Reddy, Vice Chancellor, IIT Hyderabad, for his visionary address. We also express our gratitude to Dr. Rohit Singh, Director, IMA, for his guidance, collaboration, and seamless coordination that made this conclave possible. Thank you, Rohit sir. On behalf of Organization Committee, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Muthu Vinay, Pro Vice Chancellor, IIT Bangalore, for his guidance leadership. Thank you so much, sir. My sincere thanks to all the distinguished Vice Chancellor dignitaries, academicians, deans, directors who have joined us from across the country to make this event truly meaningful. A special thanks to IMA team, especially Soumya ma'am, as well as the entire ICFAI Foundation Fire Education Bangalore campus faculty, staff members, and all the supporting teams for their tireless efforts in planning and executing the 2 days academic celebration. Thank you one and all. With this, we bring inaugural session to close and look forward to insightful panel discussion ahead. I request all of you, please gather on the ground floor for a group photograph, followed by tea in the first floor corridor, and we will reassemble here immediately after 10 minutes for the inaugural plenary session in the next 10 minutes. Please, I request all of you to reassemble as early as possible because we are short of time, so we need to start the plenary session as early as possible. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.